Hello, you're listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized. I am your host, Janet M. Taylor, and I want to say hello if you're a regular listener and welcome if you're listening for the very first time. I hope you're having a great start to your week. In this episode, my guest is Keith Allibone of Goods Vintage, and he's going to be sharing with us maybe you have some treasures in your home and what you can possibly reach out to him and sell and make some money. And also, I will be sharing my product suggestion, app suggestion, repurpose suggestion, and book suggestion for this week. And my question for you this week is, what has been your greatest find at either a yard sale, a garage sale, even an estate sale? I would love to know. So I wanted to share with you the reasons for an estate sale. And it says the most common reasons for an estate sale is, the death of the property owner and the consequent need to quickly liquidate the deceased belonging for any number of reasons. The survivor's heirs may not have they may have no interest in the bulk of the personal belongings left by the deceased, and the survivor's heirs may quickly lack space to keep the belongings. Which is why I wanted to reach out to the owner and operator of Goods Vintage in Philadelphia's Italian Market, Keith Allibone, who loves buying old stuff and wants to know, what do you have hiding away? So sit back and enjoy my conversation with Keith Allibone. Like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episode. The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Well, hello, listeners. I am excited because I have Keith Allibone, and he's from Goods Vintage. And because it's springtime, we're getting rid of stuff, but sometimes you're just not sure. And also, for those of you who have inherited a house full of stuff, he is the person to call. So, Keith, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Janet. Good morning.
So, my first question is how did you get started in doing this?
I kind of grew up around this field. My dad, he's been buying and selling antiques for like 40 some odd years. And, he used to take me to flea markets as a kid, auction houses as a kid. And I used to love going through the boxes of the things he would buy, for resale. And over time, kind of just learned a lot about every single different type of antique and collectible you can imagine, really. I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge out there about these things, but it's fun because there's always new things to learn as well. But yeah, I kind of grew up around it, and I was a realtor when I was younger, about 21, 22, and the real estate market fell apart. And my dad said, well, you already know a lot about this antique business. Why don't you take it professionally? So I actually was like, that's a good idea. And it's been 12 years since I've been doing this professionally.
Oh, wow. So, Keith, what are some of the reasons why people would call someone like you to just come in and help them out?
It's a good question. A lot of times it's someone who's moving usually, or downsizing. So it kind of fits into your realm, the organizational realm, because it's usually just dealing with transition. So someone moves from a five-bedroom house, let's say, to a two-bedroom condo. They need to get rid of furniture usually, which is the larger, hardest items to get rid of, all the way down to like jewelry and small things like that. But I kind of like to buy all those types of things. So I've learned quite a bit about all of them, and I can help people kind of understand what's of value and what's not.
And you also make it easier for someone because, like you said, a lot of times I'll walk into a home and people are just so overwhelmed with
Hmm.
all the stuff and they just don't know. They don't
Exactly.
know what's good, what they need to get rid of. They don't know who to call. So when somebody is thinking about, I guess, an estate sale, And I think a lot of times people don't understand what an estate sale is, but how does somebody get themselves organized for an estate sale? I mean, do they just like call you up and that's it, or do they what do they have to do?
Well, what I do is the way I operate my business is I strictly buy and resell, so I don't deal with the estate sales particularly. There are companies that just to answer your question, there are companies that will orchestrate that entire process, the estate sale process. That is, okay. So they will, have you pick days. They'll do a walkthrough and say, okay, on this day and this day, we're going to offer, certain items that they both parties agree on selling. Usually they'll tape off like doors that they don't want people going into or whatever, other rooms that are private or whatever, and whatever's offered for sale, they kind of set up the days where the public can basically come in and buy the things. So that's one way of doing it. It's one way of operating with goods that could be valuable when someone's downsizing. But the way I operate is it's a similar situation where we'll set up a date for me to kind of do a walkthrough, and the person will kind of show me the items that they're trying to offer, and I'll help them assess value based off the current market and I make them cash offers right then and there if it's something that I could use for my retail. So I have a retail location and I have online stores as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does because, and also it makes it a lot less stressful for people because I think
Hmm.
sometimes when we think an estate sale, there's a lot of different things, like you said, that have to be
Hmm.
done. But with
Yeah.
what you do is, like for example, what I do, I'll go in and we may find stuff, and a
Hmm.
lot of times we'll put it to the side, and it's really good to be able to pick up the phone and call someone like yourself that'll come in and say, oh yeah, this is good. This is what I can give you for it. This necessarily, well, I'm not sure, so that it makes it a lot easier because I think in this time people are looking for a way to get rid of stuff, but also maybe to put some money in their pockets as well.
Yeah, Jenna, and that's exactly it. You hit it on the head because once someone's introduced to you, or CPO, they they kind of have an idea of what's what, right? They know you've kind of helped them organize, categorize what's valuable, what's bringing them, value in their life, and what's not, and it's already separated so that if you kind of like have a person like myself, in your network, you can say, well, look, Keith can come over and look at these things, and he'll offer you money for them right off the bat. So it helps them, pay for your services. It helps them with moving costs if that's what they're doing, or it helps them to buy new things or other things they might need in life. They get rid of the old and they have room for the new, which is it helps a lot of people because a lot of people get jammed up with stuff they don't need. you know.
And you're right about that. And like you said, you had mentioned earlier about the downsizing because people don't need to move with stuff that they
Right.
necessarily they're not going to use. But also by having you come in during that process, it puts money in their pocket and gives them more money to move, or like you said, buy something new for the new
Mhm.
space. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So Keith, how can people connect with you directly?
Mhm.
And find out about what you do, how you can come in and help them out, or I know some of my listeners are they just may want to just check out your shop.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. That'd be awesome. We have a brick and mortar location. It's called Goods Vintage, and I do a little bit of buying out of there, but mostly I'll go out and buy with people, like I said before. But my brick and mortar is a retail location, so people can come in and shop and things like that, and you can come in and meet me or my employee. And that's at 1022 South Ninth Street in Philadelphia, in the Italian Market area. Other than that, we have an Instagram, which is at Goods Vintage, GOODSVINTAGE. And you can kind of get an idea of the things that we buy and sell on there. It's just kind of like a curated collection of different types of stuff that we've found over the years and offering to resell. And alternatively, we have a selling platform on Etsy that you can check out. I think there's like 300 individual unique active items for sale on there at any given time. And that is Shop Goods Vintage on Etsy if you search on Etsy.
And of course, listeners, as you know, I will have a direct link to our
Yes.
guest website on the
Awesome.
show page. So Keith, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome, Janet. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, I hope you found my interview with Keith, very informative, and also to make you think about some of the things that you have in your house that have been sitting there for years that you will never use again, like grandma's silverware. Not unless you want to just pass it down to someone else, but just think about that. So let's move on to Taylor's tip time. And in reference to, you have a house or maybe your home and it's just full of things and you really want to have someone like Keith come in. So first of all, decide on the goal, the long-term goal. Is it just to clean the house out? Or is it clean the house out so you can use it as a rental, clean the house out so you can sell it, clean the house out so maybe somebody else in the family can move in? Then you need to schedule a timeline in regards to doing things. And I would always suggest you go from room to room to room. Don't try to take the whole house. Go the living room, then do the kitchen, and then do the one bedroom and another bedroom. And when you do that, create a checklist. Like the first thing we're going to do every time we go into a room, we're going to get rid of the trash. Then we're going to get rid of anything we want to donate. We're going to have whatever we want to keep. And then take what you want. Take it out the house. Get rid of the trash. Get rid of the donations. And then 5, call in somebody. Whether you call in someone like Keith to kind of look at things so you can decide, like, can we sell this and how much? But those are the steps. So 1, decide on your goal, create a timeline, get rid of the trash, decide on what you want to keep and what you want to donate, what you want to sell, and then seek out the professionals. So have you been working on getting organized and you feel that you just need someone to help you get from start to finish by providing you with details needed to clear the clutter and get organized? Then let's talk so I can share how I can help you get back on track with virtual sessions. And I do not need to come in your home. Sometimes you can just tell me an idea, maybe show me a picture of an area. I'm working with a young mother and she wanted to organize her entryway. But she's got a beautiful home just recently built. So I gave her some visuals. I said, okay, you've already got the table. You already got the mirror. Here are some things that you can possibly get and purchase for the mail, because that's an issue. She's got the mail coming in and, by the time she works, she's still working outside the home. She's got the small children. She's got to do other things when she gets home. Let's get something pretty to put it in. So that's what I've been, texting her those things. So that's how I work with clients. But you reach out to me for a free 15-minute conversation so you can share with me your project and I can share with you how you can get organized. So please go to my contact page at janetmtaylor.com to get started. Then, of course, if you are just overwhelmed with your time, you want to manage a lot of things at work, your business, your life, so let me help you. And I work with clients so they can get things done without feeling stressed and burned out. And I can help you create the life you want and have the time to do all the things you want to do without feeling overwhelmed. So click the link in this show page and let's get started to strategize and organize. So, of course, I want to thank you for following me via social media, for your likes, your retweets. Please continue to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as my Pinterest page. And this week's Pinterest board is about the repurposing. I've got 3 repurposing boards. It's the one for repurposing stuff in the office, the garden, and of course, just general repurposing things. And of course, I'm going to wait a little bit because I know you all are getting ready to chant, Toss It Tuesday, Toss It Tuesday. Well, this Tuesday, I'm going to tell you, just get rid of the empty boxes. You may have bought things over the holiday, you put them together, and now you were coming across some empty boxes, or maybe you thought, this box will come in handy for something, and it never has. Let's get rid of all those empty boxes. And of course, my app suggestion for this week is estatesales.net. And it's easily reach and attract shoppers to your sale by using the largest estate liquidation online advertising platform. So that's one way. And then, of course, there's other apps. But that's, I thought, for those of you who have a lot of items to get rid of. And in my product suggestion for this week is the 12-gallon plastic storage boxes. We've all, I'm not going to say we all. I know I have them and I love them, because when you got things like Christmas decorations, or even just like some stuff from my childhood that I'm still holding on to. Yes, I still have all of my yearbooks from high school. I actually had a yearbook in junior high to college. Those kind of things that you really don't need to keep out and open, but you just want to keep them. Those things. And of course, a lot of them, some of them are semi-clear, making sure you label them. And of course, repurpose, repurpose, and repurpose, because I've got the tray to the mother owned. I have that in my bedroom for my perfume bottles. The trunk I have now situated in my dining room, and it's a nice decorative piece. So repurpose. My book selection for this week is Liquidating an Estate: How to Sell a Lifetime of Stuff, Make Some Cash, and Live to Tell About It. Again, Liquidating an Estate: How to Sell a Lifetime of Stuff, Make Some Cash, and Live to Tell About It. So, my quote for this week is, when you finally let go of the past, something comes along. When you finally let go of the past, something comes along. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. So when my mother passed away, I continued to live in her apartment. My cousin came and she said, Janet, I'm going to come up for the weekend and, just kind of make the place look like yours. And I decided, because I heard that voice, it's like, you need to let go of some stuff. And of course, I'm arguing with the voice. It's like, wait a minute, I am organized. But I did. I let go. I let go of things. And you know what? I had no idea. It took us at least a couple hours to unload her minivan that she owned at the time. Because she bought rugs, and she bought paint, and she bought all kind of decorative pieces, because she wanted to transform the apartment into something that reflected me and not my mother. So when you finally let go of the past, something comes along and you never know what it is. So I thank you for listening, and be sure to share this podcast with your family, your friends, and on your social media network. And if you like it, please, like on whatever platform you are listening to. And please visit my website at janetmtaylor.com. And until next time, have a clutter-free day, but most of all, have an organized week. Organization is a quintessential element of a clutter-free life. Join me as we take this journey together. Along the way, we will find the necessary answers to your organizing dilemma. My name is Janet M. Taylor, and you were tuned in to Got Clutter, Get Organized.